Greetings YouTube, welcome back to the channel. What I'm about to do in this video is touch on a controversial topic. That is not news to anyone who watches my channel. I would like to think the reason why I still have subscribers is that I'm not afraid to be honest. Now, that doesn't mean that my honesty sometimes gets proven wrong. It doesn't always mean that I even have all the right information, but hopefully I speak on behalf of those of you out there that don't have a platform like this. I still am doing this, not because I care if a video makes $30 or 30 cents, but because I think it's important that many of you out there know that there are definitely other people besides myself. I don't want it to sound like I'm the only one that you can come to, but that there are people you can come to that are going to take what you say seriously, that are not going to disrespect you, that are not going to laugh you off, and that most importantly are going to be your voice. When I saw the glitch, that is still kind of happening, but for me, like if you go to your stash and it says there's nothing here, you just back out once, you go back in, and it reappears. This is a similar visual glitch than we've seen for well over a year now, at least from what I can see in my iPhone, about the reward store. I don't know if you've ever gone to the unit store and it just says there's nothing there, and you think that's weird, and then you back out or you restart your app, and usually, not always, but usually it returns. And of course, this is not a bug Kabam wants to happen, because what happens if you only have 3 minutes free or 30 seconds free, and you end up going into your unit store to make a purchase and there's nothing to purchase? Well, then Kabam's lost money. So this bug is hurting Kabam as much as it's hurting the player base, but it's now extended from the unit store to the overflow, to even reports that when you open 7-hour crystals, even though it visually shows that there are 2 selectors for the crystal that you opened, you only get 1 selector. That's a big deal when you consider that you're losing everything from a mastery core opportunity to potions, revives, team health potions, etc. And yet, I have now heard from several of you that that's exactly what you've dealt with. And I have some screenshots to back this up, because I'm just tired of talking about things and having people go at each other. Because there are going to be people who say, yes, thank you for covering this. This happened to me. I'm glad I'm not the only one. And there are going to be people who say, oh, either that's not true and you're just believing these people's lies for clicks, which again, the 30 cents this video is going to make is not worth me just believing lies. And 2, just because something doesn't negatively impact you doesn't mean it doesn't negatively impact someone else. I'm so sick of seeing people in the comments say things like, I didn't lose any items, so I think you're overreacting. Well, what about the guy that lost a ton of rank 4 materials, or boosts, or revives? Or what about the people who lost their incursions run when they were trying to become a legend and have to start all the way over, and all those revives and units are just gone? What about those people? Why can't we just think about other people besides ourselves and realize that other people go through situations that are sometimes worse? They're also sometimes better. It goes both ways. But come on. I know the internet's toxic, but we're human beings. We should want to root for each other. We should want to encourage each other, and we should want to have each other get justice. When I got kicked off of YouTube for 3 months years ago, I had people reach out to me and say, Prof, personally, I hate your channel. I don't want you to succeed, but I'd rather want you to fail naturally than fail because of some arbitrary law in YouTube's policy that turned out to not even be a proper flag of a video. But at the same time, we couldn't do anything about it, because they often flag things and then human beings don't even always have the opportunity to go back later to review them. And that is what happened to me several years ago. Thankfully, that hasn't happened since, and I am better in some ways for it happening, as strange as that is to hear. All right, so you can see Kabam support. Missing items from crystals and stash. When the stash disappeared a few days ago, when it came back, I was missing over half my ISO. I had well over 6,000 pieces of ISO, and when the game came back, I had 3,000. Also on the new Legend Celebration crystals, I have not gotten the second choice for at least 6 crystals. I've reloaded the game numerous times, but I've not got to have anything pop up to pick another item. And this was from Monday, August 28th. And then it says, thank you for contacting Kabam support regarding this issue. Upon review, we cannot see any expired items from your stash on 8/23 and 8/24. While the issue preventing their stash items from displaying what's happening with that, please know we will not be returning any expired items outside those specific days. With regard to your Legends celebration crystal concern, we would like to gather more details. When was the crystal open, blah, blah, blah. So first off, you're saying is that the ISO that is missing was expired or expiring. That's complete BS. When it's red for the timer, so I know that's not true. And the crystals I opened and never got a second selector were from this past weekend, I believe. So August 26th and 27th, and even yesterday the 28th. Plus, I have had 3,000 pieces of ISO expiring all at the same time. That would be like 125 4 stars or 5 stars or even 6 stars. I have a lot of crystals in the crystal vault, but probably not that many to end up with over 6,000 pieces of ISO total. Now, you can say whatever you want about this guy's story. I can't verify it. And if he's making all this up just to get some free ISO, then that's a lot of work for not a lot of payoff. I'm not saying that that world doesn't exist where that's a possibility, but it's a lot of work for that. So I'm just going to read this, and maybe I'm wrong, but take it at his word. The bottom line is this. A lot of people got screwed over in the past week during a time that the Legends were supposed to be celebrating, not taking away momentarily everything from ISO to gold. I mean, it was funny in a really sad way to have a level up event where we had no ISO for a while, because you can't level up champs unless you have the ISO, I guess, in your original stash, not in your overflow. And while it was eventually fixed for some people, and I was not one of them, this lasted like 24 hours. That's a long time to wait for things to hopefully not expire in your stash. And I don't think Kabam wants to go down that rabbit hole because, quite frankly, I think it's too much work to get those items back, even if they could. It's easier just to say, I looked into it, can't verify it, and we're moving on. And while, if I'm at Kabam's headquarters, I don't want my coders and my testers and my customer service people to deal with this, because I'm sure there's so many other important things on their radar above in their priority list. This is how you lose people. This is how, I mean, that's my takeaway from this. And that's probably what I'm going to title this video. This is how you lose players in this game. You hear them out, but you can't verify what they're saying, and it's easier to dismiss their request than it is to have them prove it. I remember going back years ago, long before the game had shifted hands, when people would ask for refunds, you would often get questions like, when did you create your account? When was your first purchase? And so you would have to become like an expert lawyer, spending hours looking back into your purchase history from 6 years ago to get back your $30. And so what people did was they just said, screw it. I'm either going to pay the $30 to get out of negative unit jail, or I'm just going to leave, because I feel like I have to defend my own integrity over something that I know is true. In this case, it kind of reminds me of that. And so I'm going to be your voice. And Mr. Paul Bryant, I hope that I've accomplished that. I think you represent a lot of people out there who are frustrated and don't know where to turn. And this video, the intent of it is to help voice and empathize with that frustration. Not to dramatize, but to empathize. There's a difference, a big difference. Thanks for watching and supporting my channel. Tuesdays are the only day I have off teaching, so I'm able to put my webcam up and give a little bit more time. I know I'm still putting out a decent amount of content, but I'm spending a lot less time prioritizing that content, and so what used to take me 3 hours now might take me 30 minutes. And so you might not see it on your end, but it's been a good work-life balance as I move my life to the next phase with Israel, and I appreciate everybody's understanding and support, because YouTube is temporary, but hopefully the relationship is forever, just unlike this siren that's going off. That's a good cue to end this video. Again, thanks for watching.